I think I forced myself to fall out of love with my partner. Cast, me, F30 husband, M30. Length of relationship, 8 years. Married for 2 years. I'll do my best not to get bogged down in nitty details, and if I can I'll bullet point the biggest things I've noticed. To start, we met when we were 18, freshmen in college. He pursued me first and we dated for a few months before we broke up due to being in different states. About a year later we got back together, this time I pursued him. Over the next several years we did long distance, moved in together in 2015, engaged in 2016, married in early 2019. Recently, it's been like someone flipped a switch and I'm looking at him as a person, his beliefs, our relationship with new eyes. Some major things are: whenever I am upset, the ongoing / go-to response was I'm too dramatic, oversensitive, must be on my period, overthinking. Whenever I get enough courage to tell him what's wrong or he's pestered me to tell him what is wrong, I feel like I am the one that says sorry. He's even said I didn't mean it that way, so it's not my fault you took it that way, that's on you. I get anxious when he arrives home, wondering which husband / personality I'm about to get. If I walk off, he almost always says hey wait, come here, and for several years I did, until recently when I began to notice how much this annoyed me. We were trying for a baby last year, and I realized I was only doing it for him, and other families because we are the last hope. Last week he was in the living room, I closed the door to the bathroom to shower, within seconds I heard him walking towards me, opened the door and asked what I was doing. He said it in a joking way and a funny look on his face, so maybe I was reading too much into it. When I told him no baby now and maybe never, he said well I can be persuasive again. He said it was a badly placed joke. I don't have friends. I had a large group of mostly male friends in college, I no longer speak to them. I have a single friend now but she lives over an hour from me. I feel very isolated. I moved to his state, he has friends and family close by. Feels more like parent/child relationship instead of a team or husband/wife. I know from that list it looks like he is a terrible person, but he has so many redeeming qualities that I wonder if I really am just overthinking about little things. I mean, no one is perfect, but a few months ago after the baby incident, he really has been trying more around the house. He does chores without me asking, does things the first time I ask him to, things like that. I need outside perspective, please. I'm also wondering if maybe quarantine is the reason I'm nitpicking everything about him, because before COVID, we were so close, makes me laugh like no other, and I know he genuinely cares. TL, Doctor. Think I forced myself out of love with my partner because I've been noticing red flags that point to controlling me. Not quite the same because I wasn't married, but I recently got out of a relationship and I didn't realize how wrong some things are. I see similarities, and these are some things my therapist has taught me. The really major things that stick out to me are the fact that he invalidates your feelings. Stop wondering if you overreact. You are allowed to feel upset and he should listen when you are, not put you down for it. The other really important thing here, you should feel safe. You should feel safe to express yourself and you should feel safe around him. That feeling of anxiety of him coming home is a major problem. If you want to continue the relationship, then you should talk to him about these problems. Let him know you're serious. If he won't listen, then it will probably only get worse. And if he cares, then he should be willing to work to fix it. I think it's very reasonable for you to reconsider your relationship. Honey, don't feel bad. Just go if you can. I get anxious when he arrives home, wondering which husband/personality I'm about to get. This is bad. You should never be anxious in a bad way about seeing someone you're supposedly in love with. When I told him no baby now and maybe never, he said well I can be persuasive again. He said it was a badly placed joke. Whenever I am upset, the ongoing / go-to response was I'm too dramatic, oversensitive, must be on my period, overthinking. These are signs of abuse. Actually, most of the post points to abuse. Please consider your situation and consider leaving him ASAP. Go be happy. I relate to a lot of what you shared. My husband and I were in very similar situations. I asked him to move out a month ago. It's been glorious ever since. Clarity since he's been gone, of that anxiety of him coming home, the stress of which personality I was getting, lack of independence, all of it. It's incredible. Try a break for a few weeks and see how you feel. I know I've made my decision. I know from that list it looks like he is a terrible person, but he has so many redeeming qualities that I wonder if I really am just overthinking about little things. I mean, no one is perfect, but a few months ago after the baby incident, he really has been trying more around the house. He does chores without me asking, does things the first time I ask him to, things like that. It sounds like he is only doing more because he wants you pregnant. That is quite a list of red flags. So while he might not be a terrible person, he is a terrible husband and partner. And he is showing a lot of tendencies abusive people exhibit. Please do not have a baby with this man. I'm afraid it will give him that final sense of ownership to ramp up those abusive tendencies further than ever before. A lot of dudes will do chores without being asked. That should not be the entire basis for a relationship/marriage. I don't think you forced yourself out of love. I think you have realized ignoring the red flags this man is laying down for you has not served your best interests. You said that you need courage to tell him what's wrong. You should never feel afraid to tell someone you love what is wrong. You said you feel anxious when he comes home. This is horrible. I know how you feel. It's like the atmosphere of relaxation disappears and you feel stressed. You shouldn't feel this way. You should feel comfortable around your partner. I think you should leave him. You're clearly not happy with him, and you want different things. In my opinion, this is a sign that he could become abusive. I would GTFO. My 24F boyfriend, 24M, always takes tickling too far and I don't know how to stop it. It's starting to really wear on me. So we've been together for 7 years, since high school. He's a pretty silly guy and I do like that about him, but in the last year he has been taking it too far during play wrestling/tickling, and no matter how many conversations we have about it, he just keeps doing it. I literally don't know else to approach this. I've said how much it bothers me so many times and he just refuses to acknowledge it. I'm at my wit's end about being tickled and I need some advice. We do play fight/wrestle sometimes and lately he has been overpowering me to tickle me, but even when I start seriously yelling at him to stop he won't. He got super mad that I kneed him quite hard in the chest by accident and he said it's just a game and that just made him tickle me harder until I was literally crying and peed my pants. It was super embarrassing and actually really painful. I've stopped initiating play wrestling entirely because I don't like it anymore. This last year he just hasn't been making it fun for me or letting me win ever, so it's not even playing. He comes up behind me and tickles me and refuses to stop, to the point where I'm literally screaming for him to stop and have had to lock myself in the bathroom when I got away until he got bored. He keeps saying I'm acting like his kid brothers and to not take playing so seriously, and that if I just had fun and tickled him back it wouldn't be so bad. He keeps saying I'm tense and he's just loosening me up, but I'm tense because it's not fun for me. It's gotten to the point where I really don't know what to do and seriously need advice. I don't even want to fall asleep on our couch anymore in case he does this. I don't find it fun and it usually ends with me getting extremely pissed off and sometimes crying because he does it to the point where it hurts. Even when I say this he just pokes me and says stop being a whiner in a silly voice. I appreciate his silliness and the jokey side of him, but I'm so over this that I'm starting to just think negative things about him a lot and I don't like it. I have had to kick him really hard a few times to get him off and he gets super angry about it because he says I'm ruining a fun time by doing that. Advice on handling this? Too long didn't read. My BF always takes tickling too far and starts play fights that are too rough. Talking to him hasn't stopped it. Advice? This is absolutely not okay. You need to sit him down, not in the moment, and tell him that he needs to stop tickling you when you ask him to stop. And you're not joking. And it's not funny. If he ever does it again, dump him. No, it might not seem like abuse because you're laughing, but your laughing is a physical response that you can't help, and he is not respecting your boundaries. That is abuse. He is hurting you. Yeah, it is not fun for me at all. The thing is, every conversation I try to start about it, he says only you would make a problem out of losing a tickle fight and jokey comments like that. Can't get him to even acknowledge it. It's so frustrating, I feel like screeching. Jesus, what an asshole. Maybe if you started leaving entirely whenever he took it too far. I've told you how I feel about it and asked you to stop over and over. If you won't listen to me, I'm going home. But from the sounds of things, he'd just whine about that too. This isn't okay. He's not respecting your body autonomy. You'd be justified in breaking up with him over this. This is abusive behavior. He's constantly ignoring your boundaries, to the point where it is putting you in some amount of physical pain. That's unacceptable to me. There is no situation I can think of, outside of protecting one or both of your physical safety, where it is okay for your partner to ignore you when you have to scream at them to stop, especially with a physical boundary. I understand you love him, not to mention you live together, but I would seriously re-evaluate this relationship. I'm sorry you've had to deal with this. This is abuse. Your boyfriend is physically overpowering you and making you uncomfortable, to the point of urinating yourself. This isn't normal or healthy, and he clearly doesn't care about consent or your feelings. Dump him. If you did something to him that made him so upset and distressed that he screamed, locked himself in a room, and peed himself, how would you feel? Probably horrible, and you would not keep doing it. Instead, and despite many requests to the contrary, he persists in this behavior and then gaslights you afterwards by telling you that it's not a big deal, and that you should just return the behavior. It seems like he knows that you cannot, though, because he has physically overpowered you. I have a really hard time imagining a scenario where I did something to my partner that made them pee themselves, and instead of that being a wake-up call that I had gone too far, I then continued doing that behavior. Just remember that loving someone and them being an asshole are not mutually exclusive. You should ask yourself A, why you want to make it work with him, and B, whether his other qualities are worth his dismissal of your boundaries and preferences, ignoring your distress, and then accusing you of overreacting, which clearly you are not. Yeah, I see what you're saying. It's hard to think about losing him, but I realize after reading these comments that I do need to reflect seriously. How can I, 24M, get my TA, 26F, for a class to leave me alone without it affecting my grade? So 2 weeks ago I, 24M, started talking to my TA, 26F, whom I've never met in person but only talked to over Zoom and text. I initially emailed her because I'm a second year in our grad program and she's a first year, but she's TAing this undergrad course I wanted to take, and I wanted to offer my help if she needs it with her grad classes. The conversation at first was casual, but soon she wanted pics of me, and so I sent her a quick selfie. Didn't think much of it. Within a day she was texting me non-stop and it has become suffocating. She then kept bringing up all these hypotheticals like we should be each other's Valentine among others. Granted, I too was interested at very first, but quickly I changed internally because I don't want a relationship at the moment, and I especially don't want one with a TA. She keeps asking for me be cute and send cute messages to her, and I just don't have feelings for her. I've never even met this girl in real life, yet she has feelings for me simply by texting me non-stop over text and a few quick selfies. I politely told her last night that I really enjoy talking to her, and although she's cute, I can't really say I like her since I've never met her. She got very angry with this. What can I do now? I don't want a bad grade for my class, but I also don't want to have to go into a romantic relationship with this girl, again, whom I've never even met. Too long didn't read. I started talking to my TA, who then developed romantic attachment to me despite never meeting me in person. I decided I'm not interested, and she's very angry and hurt by my not wanting a relationship. What can I do?